So we are going to go into game number 1, guys, between Karn and MVP Tails. No longer Complexity MVP Tails. I think they actually
MYM
ended
MVP
that
Tails,
partnership.
maybe?
Yeah.
Dang it, I was going to drink an energy drink before the cast. I forgot to, though.
You drink way too many energy drinks. Stop.
Dude, it's finals week, man. I got to do it.
Drink coffee.
I have a
it's better.
final in 9 hours? 10 hours? 9 hours.
What subject?
That's a good question. What is it?
You don't even know.
It's pretty bad. I need to study for that. I need to find out what subject it is.
You're not going to pass your final.
Shut up, man. I will pass it. I promise. I hope so.
All right, let's go ahead and introduce our
I need
players
to.
as you think of the subject that your final's on.
Yeah.
We have Complexity. No, not Complexity. It's going to be
No.
just MVP Tails playing as the orange Protoss in the right position here of MLG Antigua Shipyard.
Yep.
And this is cross positions. In the left position of MLG Antigua Shipyard, we do have Karn playing as a Terran player. And we talked a little bit about Karn in terms of his history was on Isahara, which is now, I believe, Absolute Legends.
Mm-hmm.
Did get released from the team, unfortunately, but still in Korea, I believe. Training pretty hard. I think he lives in the GOM house.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I think he still lives there. Or actually might have even moved to one of the pro team houses if they had an extra spot. I'm not too sure. But he is definitely a good player. Doesn't really get a lot of attention because there's so many other players that get attention, but he's a very consistent Terran player, I would say. In Complexity MVP Tails, this guy was sort of the tail of last week. He did phenomenal. Yeah, I'm sorry. He did phenomenally last week. Got first place. Took home $100.
so
He's looking to do it
funny.
again, man.
You're so funny. That's a pretty good pun, man.
It's better than the Tails
Probably.
event, I would say.
Not really. Like, that was a good joke. Let's be honest. But yeah, man, like, I have a newfound love for Tails, man. I love this guy. Is that weird to say on a live broadcast?
It's fine to say you love him, but it's not cool to say that you like fall asleep to him.
Hey, man, I didn't say that, though. And you're just like, you're kind of throwing me under the bus there. Maybe I didn't
I'm
want to
sorry.
disclose that
No,
information
Tails,
this time.
Tails is a good guy. He's a handsome guy. You
He's
can love him.
very handsome.
Yeah, he is. I agree.
I think that needs to be emphasized. And he has a very unique playstyle. It's very cool to watch. Very cool to watch. And he's one of those players that like connects with the foreign community, which a lot of players don't do. Like, he has his stream on TL. He has a Twitter, and he tweets every time he streams. He replies to tweets that are sent to him. You know, and it's always hilarious watching him try to interact with English speakers, I guess, on the KR server, because like he'll alt tab to Google Translate, which is so cool that he's actually putting effort into interacting and stuff. And then of course Google Translate comes up with some redundant,
Yeah, some
irrelevant
random
slew
translation.
of cacophony of words or something that has nothing to do with what the person was actually saying. So I feel kind of sorry for him in that regard. I'm not sure what the best way is to actually learn. I know Violet like is one of those Korean players who's like, his English is actually so good. He lives 5 minutes away from me, and like we hang out a lot, and like his English is just getting better and better and better and better, and it's like just absolutely amazing. And he tweeted, I know this is like kind of off topic, but he tweeted that he like bought an English book and was actually studying it. So
Nice.
that's really cool to see. But let's talk about what's happening in this game. We see expansion builds from both these players. Looks like a 1 Rax fast expand from Karn. Meanwhile, Tails, what has he scouted? He has scouted absolutely nothing. So this is it's kind of a blind 20 expand, and I've been doing this build as well. And Tails has been doing some interesting stuff with this. He stays on 1 gas, and then he adds on 2 or 3 more, and then he applies pressure, especially when his opponent is doing that fast expand build. So I think he's going to do it this game. We'll see if he does. The only thing I'm worried about is that he lost his probe, so he's really not going to have that ability to put down that forward pylon, which is absolute, like, actually it's essential in a push like this, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. But the good news is Tails knows exactly what his Terran opponent is doing. He managed to get his probe by the Marines and see the command center, and that's, like, so huge because most Terran players, they're not going to let you do that, man. They're just going to have those 2 Marines at the ramp denying anything from coming by unless you know the secret password. And you probably don't know the secret password, and you're probably going to get shot in the face by those Marines.
Yeah, but I mean, something that's really reminiscent from Tails is we don't really see him a lot scouting in any of his matchups. I know previous games, even PvPs, PvZs, he doesn't really scout. And that's a really interesting style. A lot of players really rely on terms of their strategy based on the
bunker.
scouting, but he
Where's the
doesn't do
bunker?
that.
Sorry.
And there is no bunker, actually. There's only a bunch of Marines here at the natural of Tails, at the natural of Karn,
yeah.
and there's a pylon in position, so Tails might actually be going for a little bit of aggression. He is adding 2 additional gateways back home. Natural is also up for Tails. And at this point, I think he's going to try to apply a little bit of light pressure onto Karn. And Karn might, he actually might not even be ready for this. There's no bunker at all here at the natural for Karn.
Well, this is what a lot of Terran players do that's really cool. He just got an SCV inside his opponent's base, and again, there's nothing more annoying than just watching, as a Protoss player, like helplessly watching this SCV see everything you're doing. But that being said, Tails warping in a lot of Stalkers at the front of his opponent's base. Karn marching out right now. He's up to 4 barracks. He has a lot of Marines, but Tails is going to see this, and he can potentially micro all the way back to his base and just kite forever against these Marines. Karn doesn't have stim, he doesn't have combat shields, these Marines are slow, and they can get shot in the face a lot by these Stalkers without being able to do anything about it. Sure, they can shoot a couple shots at the Stalkers, but Tails is good enough where he shouldn't lose too much of that main health. Of course, the green health is so important. You can lose the blue, because that comes back. But yeah, Tails has the better unit composition here, but Karn taking advantage of the fact that Tails can't see up this ramp until he commits quite hard. So Karn gonna chill at the top of the ramp with those Marines. He should be just fine, and I expect both these players to transition.
Yeah, and the build that Karn's doing is actually really cool. A lot of Terran players have been opening up with very, very heavy barracks, and then getting their gases a little bit delayed. Obviously, that's going to delay things like stim, combat shield, but it does allow you to get a bunch of units on the map rather quickly.
It's a lot of barracks.
As you can tell, there's 24 Marines already out for Karn. He is going to get a bunker, knowing that there actually might be a little bit of aggression coming up from Tails. But behind this, Tails is just going to add more gateways. He's going to be on 6 gateways here very shortly, so we might even be seeing just a 2-base 6-gate timing from the Protoss. And the question is Karn going to have any kind of additional units? He is going to start adding a few add-ons here to the barracks. A few tech labs as well as reactors have been added to the barracks. More SCVs in production. And, you know, this is definitely absolutely looking like it's going to be a very, very strong timing here from Tails.
So I think Tails poked up the ramp. He saw the amount of Marines his opponent had, or, you know, the Marines came out, and he's like, oh my god, that's a lot of Marines, dude. You have to have a lot of barracks here. Your tech's going to be a little bit late. So he's going to try to exploit that, adding on 3 additional gateways, and he's going to try to kill Karn here. Now the question is Karn going to recognize this, add additional bunkers? It looks like he is, adding on 2 additional bunkers now. And this is like a scary time. Like, this is like the best time to hit right now for Tails, because Karn just added on all his add-ons, right? And there's gonna be a time where he's trying to tech up, trying to get a bunch of upgrades out, trying to get a bunch of units on the field, and Tails needs to hit before like all this stuff is able to finish.
Well, I mean, Karn is just making more defenses back home. 2 additional bunkers going up, but hold that thought. It looks like Tails is going to move up into the ramp right now. Force fields need to go up. Very odd force field, but there are going to be some more force fields. So the bunker is going to go down. And the thing is, Tail has Guardian Shield. He's pretty much playing against mainly Marine here from Karn. The bunker is again going to come up, but he needs to focus it down. It looks like he's just going to pull back. And a little bit of a victory here for Tails, but the problem is Karn already has the bunkers up. He's getting stim, which is on its way.
Yeah.
And it's all going to come down to the timing.
That has to be a mistake. That Reaper has to be a mistake.
Yeah.
Why would you want a Reaper in this situation? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think the Reaper's going to do anything at this point.
Maybe try to scout across the map. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But yeah, that was good for Tails. Look at the supply. 90 to 73. Behind this, putting down a Forge, putting down a Twilight Council. Sure, he hasn't killed his opponent, but if anything, like, he knows he's completely safe. Like, think about that. When you know you're safe in PvT, that's so huge. You can tech up. You don't have to worry about drops. You can get your upgrades. You don't have to worry about force fielding everywhere, splitting up your army. You know exactly where your Terran opponent is, and you know they're freaked out. You know they're freaked out because you just killed a bunker, you killed a bunch of the units, you hit at a really good timing, and you showed a bunch of your Protoss units with your Guardian Shield how strong they are, and Tails just warping in more and more units, and he might go for another push pretty soon.
Yeah, it's pretty much up to Tails, and it actually looks like you are right. He's going to go for another push, going to move up to the ramp yet again. A bunch of Zealots here for Tails, and those are actually going to do significant damage to the bunkers. Force fields are going to go up yet again for MVP Tails, and he actually might have broken Karn here. Now he is up in supply, 96 supply to 69 of Karn. SCVs being pulled here from the natural. And you know, the thing is, Tails still hasn't killed Karn, but he's actually doing a lot of damage right now to the Terran player. And behind this, as you said, the Twilight Council is already completed. It looks like he's actually going to get started with Charge. Templar Archives has been added. But the thing is, Karn has something good for him, man. He has Stim completed. So if he's able to get enough units here from these barracks, he will be able to hold off for a little bit longer. But the question is, there's Templars on the map now,
yeah,
and
man.
Tails is actually looking in a fantastic position.
You, sir, are an optimistic gentleman, and I like it. You know, the art of all this is Tails is like, he's not trying to kill Karn. Like, he's transitioning behind this. He is adding on 2 additional gateways. He is getting his Forge down. He's getting his upgrades. He's teching up the High Templar. And now, this next push from him, I think he's going to try to kill him. Because he's adding on 2 gateways. He's not taking a 3rd base. But it's important to note, everything before this, the 4-gate push, the 6-gate push, it's just all trying to do damage. Just trying to take advantage of timings, scare your Terran opponent, keep them from doing scary stuff. while teching up behind this, while feeling safe to go to High Templar, while getting Storm. And now Storm's going to finish, and this is when Tails is going to go for the win right here.
Yeah, Tails is just really committed to this 2-base play. Guardian Shield is going to go up here for Tails. That is actually way too many units, I think, for Karn to deal with. A little bit uncharacteristic late tech transition here from Karn. Oh my god, the Storms completely ripping through the bio units right now. Fortunately, at the ramp, even making things worse here for Karn. Karn is just in a terrible position, absolutely. Strong play by Tails, but you know what? Karn played it decent, but the thing is, he didn't get stim up in time, which definitely cost him the game. Tails overall had the better tech here compared to his Terran partner, but 43 supply down for Karn, 122 for Tails. Tails pretty much has this game in the bag, man.
Yep. Really cool play from Tails throughout, and unfortunately Karn is not going to have enough to deal with this. He's going to try, though. Keep in mind, this is a best of one. This is your only game in this tournament. You sure as hell better stay in as long as possible until you absolutely know you're out. Now, we have the advantage of knowing absolutely that Karn is out, and Karn, I guess, eventually does as well. Throwing down the GG, so Tails is going to win and advance to the next round of the Taiwan Honor Cup number 3.